Wayne, just your consistency right now just seems tremendous. Yet, you're dealing with a lot of injuries, and what are you seeing, and why is this team hitting such a stride? What are you seeing on the field that gives you encouragement?
Yeah, I just think the hard work we've put in over the last few months, and every player knows the roles when they come into the team, and we're very organised and hard to beat, and I think that's showing in our performances. We're performing at a consistent level, and we've been unfortunate in the last two games really not to come away with 3 points in both of them. So that's a bit frustrating, but I'm pleased with how it's going with the performances, and we know if we keep performing the way we are, then we'll pick up a lot more points.
Yeah, and you talk about knowing roles. During our broadcast, we tell fans, tweet out who your man of the match is, and we always get several, choices. Somebody says, "Hey, how about Lewis O'Brien? How about Russell Canouse? Hey, Ted Cudi Pietro." Is that just what it is? Everybody knows their roles, so everybody ends up looking like a man of the match.
Yeah, no, I think everyone knows the roles, but I think the players deserve a lot of credit as well, because they're playing to a very good standard, and I think in possession we're expressing ourselves. Certainly over the last two games we're being brave on the ball and trying to play, but also we're defensively we look solid. So yeah, I think the players are tuned in, the concentration levels are very high, and as I said, we're just unfortunate in the last two games that we haven't managed to pick up maximum points.
All right, we'll go to Bruce Murray now.
Hey Wayne, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Hey, great. United's really playing some great football from where we sit, and it's fun to watch that. Obviously, a bit unlucky, as you said, and these chances are going to end up in the net at some point. But a game like this, where everything's stacked against LA Galaxy coming across country, they've lost 6 games. A lot of bad things. I used to hate these games. How do you get the message in the locker room back, down to the players, or is it the veteran leadership that already understands that and lets everyone understand that, hey, we got to come out here and give everything we got, because this is a real trap game, as you know yourself.
Yeah, we can't afford to get complacent, and we know LA Galaxy are a good team, and probably deserve to be higher up the league than what they are through performances, and they've got some really good players, some good individuals who can hurt you. So we have to be at our best to win the game on Saturday. The players know that. We've prepared for that. Obviously, the preparations, the turnaround has been short, but that's what we've prepared for, the best version of LA Galaxy, and we have to go in there fully focused and ready to do our jobs, because there's no easy game in this league, and no game is a guarantee. You guarantee to pick up points. So we have to be really focused to win the game.
Thank you.
We'll go to Stephen Goff now.
Hi, Steve.
You mentioned the other day after the game you didn't expect any of the injured guys to be available this weekend. I imagine that is still the case, and if so, where do players stand?
Yeah, no. So we've got no players back for this weekend, and we're hopeful to have Pedro, Andy, Steve Birnbaum, and one more. Sorry, it's lost.
Ruan?
No, not Ruan. And Taxi. We're expecting to have all the 4 of them back next week.
Okay, good. I also wanted to ask about Christian Fletcher. Obviously, he had that big impact last weekend, but he's obviously been juggling a lot, personally and professionally, this spring with his schooling and all. How has that gone? How have you observed his handling of life in general the last few months?
Yeah, well, his schoolwork is important, so as a club we're trying to do everything we can to help him and make that as smooth as it can be, really, and really obviously let him focus on his football also. So yeah, he's a tremendous talent. He's doing well, he's improving every day in training, and he's going to have a big future at the club. So But yeah, his schoolwork's important, and it's important that he does that in the right way for himself for the future.
Great. And last question: has Mo returned from Sweden? Is he back?
Yeah, Mo come back yesterday from Sweden. He's obviously still injured, so we're just monitoring his injury at the moment, and then I think there's a few details with the league which need to get ironed out before he's available again.
Got it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll end with a follow-up from Dave Johnson.
And Wayne, can you just talk about the importance of Russell Canouse, because that role he plays is sometimes an unsung role, but we used to keep a stat about DC United's record with or without him in the lineup years ago, and sometimes what he goes unnoticed, but it seems such an important role that he plays.
Yeah, and I know Russell, obviously. I play with Russell and know what he brings. And when I come in midway through last season, he had a couple of little niggles and injuries, and he didn't get much game time. But as I spoke to him at the end of the season, I knew what he could do, so it was important that I looked at the other players, because I had to make decisions on other players, so I wanted to see what they were capable of, and he was always part of my plans. And I think he's been fantastic. His maturity, his leadership, his importance in the middle of the pitch is crucial to us. So no, I think he's having a really good season.